Welcome to the topic of Python programming. In today's topic, we will understand what is list in Python. Now, this interface which you can see is of a Google Collaboratory. You can see here collab.research.google. So it is a Google Colab notebook, and this has to be logged in by using Google. As you can see my Google login here. So we'll see how to program this. I have deliberately created this Google Colab file so that you'll be able to work in both Google Colab or in Python. So we'll start with what do you mean by list in Python. A list is a data structure that's built into Python and holds a collection of items. It means that it is a data structure and it is built in. It is not added externally, it is built in into the Python. Lists have some important characteristics which are mentioned below. Number one, when we talk about list, it is to be enclosed in a square bracket like this. For example, when I say 4 items, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Each should be separated by comma and there should be square bracket. If you recall, in the print function, we have used parentheses. But when we talk about list, we have to use square brackets. Okay. Then lists are ordered. That is, the items in the list appear in a specific order. For example, if you create a list of, say, my number, and if you input the item 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then the first item will be at first number, second will be at second number, and so on. Okay, we'll talk more on index as we progress in this video lecture. Now this enables us to use an index to access to any item. Further, lists are mutable. Mutable means you can add or remove items after the list is created. Further, list elements do not need to be unique. It means that item duplication is possible as each element has its own distinct place and can be accessed separately through the index. You can type the list like this: 1, 3, 5, 5, 5, 3, 1, 2. So you can type a particular item any number of times because each item has its own place and it will be accessed through that place only. That is called as indexing. Elements can be of different data types. So we have studied what is data type. It can be strings, it can be integers or objects in the same list. Now we have understood what is a list. We'll try and create some lists so as to get a better understanding. So I have already created it here and we'll run this one by one. Now the first step is to create list. So how do we create list? Now if you see here, this hash. So those who have used programming earlier, they know that when you use this hash symbol, this code or this line of code is not read by Python. It will just keep this code offline. Come here next. Now here we see days equal to, now I have written Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday. So this is a list which I have created. Now how do we say this is a list? Because there are square brackets. The items are enclosed in square bracket. Now we know that since it is a string, it should be enclosed in a quote, which can be either single quote or double quote. So this is enclosed in a quote. So this is a list which we have created. This is another list of languages that I have created. Languages equal to English, Marathi, French, Gujarati, Hindi, German and so on. We have third list of cars. You can go through this. Fourth list of chess items. And we have one more list of numbers. Now if you see here, you can see a triangle. And what is written below it? Run cell. So if I click on this, it is running this line of code. Now when you are running it for the first time, you will see here connecting is written and it will take some time. Usually afterwards it should not take that much time. how do you come to know whether the line of code that you have written is correct or not? Now this code is executed. Now since this code is executed, it should give some output, but we have not asked for any output. In this particular section from here to here, we will only see how to create list. After creating list, how do we see what is in the list? That we will see in the next section. This is the first list. Now if you see here, if I click here, it will process and it runs the variable named language as list. Now if you click here, suppose I click here on car somewhere. Now I have not run this. I have run this and this. So you can see here, this is number 1 and this is number 2. This was the first line of code that I have run. So there is number 1 here. This is second line of code that I have run. So number 2 here. Now if I run the first code again, let us see what the 1 changes, what happens to 1. So I have run it. Now you see, this was run, then this was run. Okay. So these numbers here in this column will tell us which is the recently run line of code. Another way to run this code is by pressing Shift Enter. Now I have just placed the control here, cursor here. I will press Shift and Enter. You can see the code is run here. You can see number 4. Now if I want to run this code chess, again I am bringing the cursor here. I am pressing Shift and then I am pressing Enter. Now how you come to know whether this is run or not? So I will bring the cursor down on num. This code is not run because there is nothing written in this. There is no number. It means that the code is not run. So I will bring on chess. I will press Shift and I will press Enter. And this is run. There is one more way in which you can run the code, that is by Control Enter. Let us see what difference is between Shift Enter and Control Enter. So for this which is not run, I will click here and I will press Control Enter. Okay. So here this code is run. Now if I press Alt Enter, see there is some difference. So for Shift Enter and Control Enter, you will not get a blank line for writing the code. But when you press Alt Enter, I am talking about Google Colab. It is slightly different when you use Python Notebook. So when I press Alt Enter, you will get a next blank line for writing the code. You can write the code, whatever code you want here, you can write it here. Then a list that contains no element is called as an empty list. So this is an empty list, and if I press Shift Enter, this is executed and there is nothing in that list. Now before we read this line codes, we'll see what we see here when we run this code. So when we run this code, days is equal to this. So this is a list which is created. Now what exactly is in the list, that we will see here. So that is to access list. To access list, type the list name. It can also be done by using print command. It means that the first list that we created is days, languages, cars, chess and num. Okay, so we will access what is in the list days. So for accessing, what will we do? We'll click here on days and we'll press Shift Enter. Now when I press Shift Enter, see this is the output. You can read here, it is clear output and executed by and time and executed in what time, everything is mentioned here. Now in the list days, what we have Sunday to Saturday. The same thing can also be obtained by print and the list name. List name here is languages and this is variable. If you remember, this is variable. So if I run this, I will get the languages. So this list of languages consists of these many languages. Now, to access element of different list in one output. Car is one list, days is another list, and chess is third list. Okay, so these are the three lists which we have clubbed together in the print command. So print cars, days, and chess. All these three lists will be printed at once. In order to do this, we cannot use simply the name of the list. Okay, we have to use print command. So if I print this, let us see what we get. First we'll get car, Audi, Lamborghini, Porsche, Bugatti, Mercedes. Then days, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then chess, rook, bishop, pawn, knight, queen, king. You can see this. Okay, so this is how we create list. Now something I had skipped here is this new list. My new list. New list is what? It is the name of the variable. It is some variable which I have assigned. Now this variable can be anything. You can assign anything which you have already learned in the previous video. I have written it new list, but when we assign some name, it should be sensible. New list, and I run this. What is there in this list? India, Japan, Korea. So what are this India, Japan, and Korea? This is one data type. 10, 12, 29, 27 is another data type. But if you carefully see here, 12, 29, the color is different, and this 10 color is different. This we can understand that this is the string. 10 also is a string in this case. Why? Because we have written 10 in quotes. So 10 is a string. Whereas 12 is not written in quotes. If I try to write this 12 in quotes, it will also become a string. So 12 is also a string now. If I run this, it is run. You can see 12, or else what you can do is Alt enter. So I have run it, and now I want to see what are the elements of new list, and just press Control enter. This is the output which is giving the list. So 10 and 12 are string as it is, as mentioned, and remaining is other data type as integer. So you can combine string as well as integer, floats, complex, anything, different data types when we form a list. Now can we create a list in a list? Yes, we can create a list in a list. So you can see here my list, another name, Om, Neil, Tanya, Seema, and this is another list in this list. So which is the first list in this square parenthesis? This one, and in this there is another list. So if I run this, or rather I will press Alt enter, and I will type my list and Control enter. So we'll get the list inside the list. We'll see more on list in the next video. Till then, practice this. Thank you.